Bienvenidos. Welcome to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy en Día TV. I am your host, Yessie Rodriguez. Here, another beautiful day. Hey, we are alive. We are well. Estamos aquí con Dios, con ustedes, con nosotros. Estamos bien, gracias a Dios. And I'm going to bring on my co-host, Manny Morales. Manny, welcome to the stage.
Bendiciones, mi gente. ¿Cómo estamos? How's everybody doing? Sorry, I was on Facebook letting everybody else know to watch us.
Yes, I love it. Multitasking.
It's the Thursday already.
It is. I feel like the time is just going by so quick.
It's going like this. It's going like this. I don't understand. It's just.
I know.
That's the only thing that we can't get back. Like we could make money, and we could get material stuff, but time we cannot get back. So it's like if you're not taking, what's the word that I'm looking for? If you're not,
making the best use of time.
Right, there you go. Yeah, I had a brain thing, but if you're not using your time wisely, like you're just, it's gone. Nothing. Like,
Yeah.
It's Thursday already. It's almost the weekend. So everybody's excited for the weekend.
And we're in the last quarter of the year because September, October, November. Well, October, November, December. So we're in the 2 weeks of approaching the last quarter of the new year is what I meant to say. So after 2 weeks after today, right, we're going to be in October, and then comes November, December, and then voila, 2025 is knocking at the door already.
Next time, I can't wait.
Oh, really? Oh, what do you have? Can't wait.
I don't. Y'all women, like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna say y'all women because y'all have the children. Y'all are the ones that birth the children. So y'all, if you know somebody that's doing taxes right, you can get a decent amount of money. But of course, a lot of y'all don't share it with us. We help. Some of us, some guys help, should I say, if you're in a relationship.
And I'm glad you brought that up, the whole relationship thing, because that was something that I've been thinking about. I've been talking to like different people and just reading different things on like IG and Facebook, and relationships really seem to be coming up often.
Right.
And especially a relationship between two individuals, man, woman, or if you like same sex, hey, more power to you.
Right.
Relationship. And there's what I'm noticing is in some of the examples that are coming up, obviously we've spoken about this in past episodes, but for some reason, communication and understanding and expectations about both, from both parties seem to be coming up often. And I'm wondering why. I mean, we have so many tools and resources and things that we can utilize, but what I'm finding, and this is my theory, is that it's up to that individual. And I have an example where there's a couple that I know, well, I've heard the story, and they don't seem to be on the same page. And one individual doesn't seem to be motivated to do better with themselves. The other individual is like, hey, let's do that. The other individual A, and I'm trying to be as general as possible because I don't want anybody to be triggered and say, oh, they're talking about me.
Right.
Person A and person B. So person A is the one that's like, I'm complacent, but they're really not doing anything with themselves. Like they're not, like you were saying earlier, they're not making the best use of their time. They're finding it comfortable to just sit back at home and watch TV and let person B pretty much do everything. And to me, that's not fair.
Right.
And so person B is trying their best to push their relationship forward. For person A is kind of like sitting down. So the other person's like dragging them. And to me, that's not fair at all. Obviously, they're not on the same page. Person B feels bad and hurt because they want this to work. But if person A doesn't want it to work, then you're just hitting your head against the wall.
Right.
Right. And so I'm noticing that trend. I don't know if you've noticed similar trends or other trends that have been happening with regards to relationships that you've heard of.
Just many different relationships. First of all, shout out to the grandparents, because those were true relationships. Like they fought and dug it out and just stayed together no matter what. Like they had a type of understanding, and of course they went through a lot of things, even though we've gone through a lot of things in our time, as you know, on this earth. But
Right.
like there was more closeness and togetherness then. These days it's more social media and everybody's, you know, has their own thing going on. But back then they didn't have TV, so they had to entertain themselves. So that's where that closeness comes in. But as time evolved, like there's been um, on both sides of the fence, like emotional um, pain from both sides. Like women will you know, be emotional bullies, and men could be as well. So a lot of the times, um, everybody people bring past relationships into their future relationships, and they set an expectation for the new person, and you know, a checklist. What does he do? This, does he do that? And once they see that they're different, they don't know how to handle the difference, you know, because they've only had one type of person in their life, you know, and
Right.
to have that nuance, that new person that is doing things different, they're like, what am I supposed to do? Because I've never been in a relationship like this, you know? And that's where that, you know, A is not doing nothing and B is doing everything. Um, that's because they're not used to it, or they're used to um, be always doing everything. You know what I'm saying? There's some guys that don't want their women to do anything, some women that don't want their men to do anything, and they want to do everything. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the type of relationship that they came from, they're going to expect that from the next relationship, you know, and it's not. I feel like when you get into a different relationship or whatever you want to call it, it should be a clean slate. No,
Baggage.
no, no expectations is what
Okay.
I'm trying to say. Like, just everything's new. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring, like you said, baggage from the previous relationship and say, well, I'm not going to deal with him if he's like this or her. So, yeah, it's just relationships are different these days. Like, everything is evolved. Everything. It's just
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, and I will say this, and I see your point of view, and I appreciate and I respect it. My point of view is slightly different because I see it more of I blame the parents for this. I blame the parents for I mean, this is what they know. This is what they were raised, right? And so if the mom or their dad is not teaching the child any better, then how are they going to know any better?
Right.
And one of the individuals lived with their parent for all more than half of their life.
Right.
And then when the parent met their demise, then you only know what happened at this point. Da-da-da, everything kind of fell downhill. And so that's why I feel that the parent is at fault because the parent should want to motivate you to say, hey, in the event that I'm gone,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to carry on with life without me.
Right.
Yes, it's going to be painful, but this is life. Esta es la vida. Así se pasa. Estamos aquí hoy, mañana nunca sabe.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
agree.
and then
I
with
see your point of view.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying I see your point of view. Parents could be the culprit. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and then also we've spoken about this in past episodes. What we experience in childhood really is kind of like a foundation or the root of how we are growing. And if we don't heal from any trauma that we may be dealing with, we're going to carry that baggage on, unfortunately. And it sucks. But I've noticed at least 80% of the people that I've communicated with or spoken with, they have the correlation of this is what I experienced in my childhood, and this is why I'm who I am.
Right. And sometimes, like, that person doesn't know that they're acting the way that they're acting, and the people on the outside see it, and they're like, "Well, you act like this, and you do this, and you don't do this," and
Uh-huh.
they're like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about," because they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? They're used to doing this, and this is, you know, they could be from a different culture, and that culture could, you know, be doing things differently than the other culture. So, you know, and that's another difficult thing, to be from two different cultures and try to work out a relationship, but then you have baggage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both of y'all are stubborn, and nobody wants to budge. So it's like, well, I'm gonna be me, and I don't care. Well, I'm gonna be me, and I don't care either. So it's like, and then you just get comfortable with each other to the point where y'all can't leave each other alone, and that's toxic. That's
Mm.
really
Oh
toxic.
gosh, I feel like we need one of these shows. We need to invite like a psychologist,
Right. I'll
or
find. I know there's some in Florida somewhere.
yes, because I'm really curious. Because I know you and I are curious, but I'm sure the
Right.
listeners and audiences
Of
want to
course.
know too. Because if they hear some of what we're talking about, they're like, "Ooh, that sounds like me," or "Ooh, that sounds like so and
Exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of people that saying, "Ooh, they talking about."
so." Yeah, we can go on for a long time with this because relationships and just life as a whole,
Right.
it's not easy. Tenemos tantas
Mhm.
cosas que nos vienen, so many things that come in our way, and it's like,
Right.
how do we deal with it? But I will say this: we have a special guest that,
Yeah.
thanks to you, Maddie,
You're
helps
welcome.
people with
Right.
life, right?
Hmm.
Men, women, and children when
Right.
life gets life in.
Different avenues that she, I don't want to say created, but she was able to bring forth for the people to help them, because she knew that there was some things that she needed help with, and that actually helped her become a better person, which is awesome. It's definitely awesome. And
That is
she's
amazing.
a master's. She had 3 degrees in 3 years, I believe. That's what she just told me. That's a
That
lot.
is
That's a lot of school.
amazing.
That's a lot of school. I'm telling you. And when I first met her, she was, I believe, in her last year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and it was just she was all like running every time, always.
I will say doing a master's is not easy because I have 2
Mm.
masters, double masters, and I only got when I was going through school, I only got like 2 hours max of sleep a night for
Oh,
2 years.
that is wild.
Right. So I salute her. I wanna know. I wanna know what the trick is or what she did because woo. Well,
That
I'm
is
excited to
wild.
bring her on. And
Okay.
so, Manny, I know this was a someone that you invited on, so I'll have you do the honors and invite on our guest.
Okay. So we're going to bring on. Her name is Tierainie Johnson. She is the owner and creator of Beauties from Within. She has 3 master's degrees, if I'm not mistaken. I know she got 3 degrees in 3 years. Um, but she's just a beautiful soul, like she's a beautiful person, beautiful smile. Here's Tierney Johnson.
Welcome to Hoy en Día. Bienvenido.
There she goes. There goes that smile. Look at that.
Hello, thank you. Thank you.
How
Welcome.
are
We're
you?
so excited to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
How are you on this Thursday
I,
evening?
I'm good. I'm good. Like you, I'm tired, but I'm here. I'm good. I'm excited to be here and be a part of your show. I love what you're doing. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yes. And so me, I'm sure the
As
audience and
usual.
listeners want to
Right.
know who is TJ, Tierney TJ
Right.
Johnson.
Who is
Inquire the mind.
tyranny? Tyranny is an average person who found extraordinary strength from within to do
Mhm.
extraordinary things. I'm
Oh, I
just
like
like everyone else. I get the same 24 hours that everyone else gets. It's just what I chose to do with my 24 hours.
that. Right. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so tell us, you have this amazing nonprofit, Beauties from Within,
My
and
baby.
you help individuals, men, women, and children. Tell us more about what it is, the services that you offer, so that the audience can know more about your nonprofit organization.
Okay. So Beauties from Within is a local nonprofit organization. We are 501c3. Our focus is reconnecting the community, one man, woman, and child at a time. This organization was founded in 2011, and I tell the backstory
Mhm.
for a couple of, I would say, maybe like 6 to 8 months. I kept hearing this little, only thing I can say is like a gnat. You know how this thing just buzzing in your ear and you can't figure out what it is?
Right.
Yeah.
I heard this little thing for months, and I would tell my mom, and she was just like, well, baby, just pray about it. Just pray about it. And I would for like the longest, and I never heard anything. And one night, May 11th, May 2011, I woke up clear as day. I heard Beauties from Within. And I like to write. So I am a journaler. I have sticky notes everywhere of different things. So I rolled over and I pulled out my little notepad and I just started writing because at that moment I heard God's voice. And I just started writing, and May 4th, 2011, Beauties from Within was born. I feel like that's the day that I gave birth to my dream and my gift.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely awesome.
That's amazing. Now, before we got on the live, I know you had shared more about the services and resources that you do offer men, women, and children. Can you elaborate more on that for those who were not privileged to the conversation we had before?
All right.
Yes, ma'am. So Beauties from Within is comprised of 4 phases. Family First. Family First is where we cater to our homeless population. Anything where we can keep the family together. We go out into the community and we serve meals. We provide clothing, hygiene bags. If funding permits, we help families with their utility bills. During the holiday season, we sponsor Christmas parties. We sponsor Thanksgiving dinners. We even have a youth basketball team that we sponsor. The second phase is called Clara's Connection. Clara's Connection is similar to Family First, however, it's geared towards the seniors. Clara was my grandmother, and she never learned how to drive. So her children and grandchildren did everything for her. And when she passed away, Clara's Connection is keeping her memory alive, and we do those things that we did for our grandmother for the community. The third phase is Above Academics. Above Academics is a tutoring and mentorship program where we tutor elementary through high school students with basic life skills. You mentioned like life skills. That's something that not everyone learns. Academic education, you mentioned that you have a double master's. I have a master's. Obtaining an education is not easy, and it's not for everyone. So we do things to help you figure out what's your niche in life, what makes you happy. And then we help you get connected with those organizations and or jobs that have on-the-job training or internships where you can go in and hopefully learn a skill that will help you. The fourth phase, which I wouldn't say is my favorite, but I feel like when God gave me Beauties from Within, he was giving me the Breakthrough Project. And the Breakthrough Project's focus is on mental health and awareness in men, women, and children. One of the things that I like to tell people is 2 things that you're always going to have in life: triggers and coping skills. Because life is going to life, which is going to be your trigger, but it's not so much of what happens to you as it is how you deal with it, which is your coping skill. So you're always going to deal with triggers and coping skills. So that's what Beauties from Within is. It encompasses everything that you need to survive.
That is amazing.
Wow. That is amazing. Wow. And I salute you. That you're doing great for the community. Wow, I'm very, very impressed. And what I like to do also is get the backstory of how before May of 2011, what really triggered or motivated you to even come up with this idea concept. I know you mentioned that God put it in you, but there must have been something that may have happened before that you realized this was a need, a necessity that people needed.
So it was even as a child and in high school, I was always known as the mother of the group. So it's hard for people to believe now at 45, I don't have any kids, but I feel like I do. I feel like my clients, my students, because everyone that I come in contact with has an opportunity to be nurtured. So I've been a nurturer all my life. So when the concept came about, it was because growing up, I didn't have a bad childhood. Don't get me wrong. But there were certain areas that my mom did not instill in me. I grew up in a household where the answer to most questions was because I said so. And that never resonated with me. Like people often compliment me on my smile, and I appreciate it. But what they don't know is I didn't get braces till I was 28 because my mom said she wouldn't pay to get my teeth fixed to keep slapping me in my mouth. So this smile was purchased.
Well, it was definitely a good expense. It's definitely a good expense.
Thank you.
That is easy. I didn't know all that stuff about you. For real.
See, that's why we have her on. That's why we're peeling the onions.
That is amazing.
There is a lot to Tierainie. That's why I say Tierainie is very, I don't want to say complex because I'm really simple, but you have to be able to peel back the layers to find out who I really am.
Right.
What people see on social media is not necessarily who I am.
Right. All right. Yeah, that's a lot. School and then dealing with 2 jobs before you got your master's, and then your weight loss journey. You look amazing. Yes, you look amazing. Like I would follow her on, like every day I would check her Facebook because she was always posting something. And she's come a long way. Like
I've lost 135 pounds in about 2 years? So
that's amazing. Wow, look at you.
And she did that on a busy schedule. Like she had 2 jobs and was going to school at the same time. So she made it a point to put herself in that equation, you know?
It was therapy for me. I felt like I give so much to everyone else, but what was I doing for me? So one of the things that I enjoy doing in my spare time, I love to walk. So when I would go walking, here in Jacksonville, we have like 2 major bridges that's near each other, the Acosta and the Main Street. So I would start at the foot of the Acosta, walk across, walk through downtown, come back over the Main Street Bridge to get back to my car. Because I go to the gym, but it's a mental thing. Like a lot of things tie back to your mental. If I'm on the treadmill and I tell myself I'm tired, I'll just step off of it. But if I'm walking across the bridge, in order for me to get back to my car, I got to walk back to my car. Yeah, because
that is a long walk.
Get me, like, no.
But that is definitely amazing. Definitely amazing.
Thank you.
And that's a good way to look at it too. That's a good way to look at it because, like you said, it is mental. And I do agree. When you're on a treadmill, you're like, "Oh, I'm at home or I'm at the gym. I could just stop." But yes, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're like, "Ooh, my car is like a mile down. I gotta figure this out."
I gotta figure it out.
Strategy. That's a smart strategy. You gave somebody a tip out there. Food for thought.
Right. Exactly.
So yes.
And so, getting back into the beauties from within, for those interested in working with you, with your company, benefiting from the benefits that you do have, how does that process work or look for an individual that has a need?
So a lot of the clients that I come across is word of mouth. I do promote, I'm a very transparent person. So I do have a personal social media as well as a business social media. But as you both know, it's hard to maintain multiple social media accounts. So for me, with my schedule, I put everything. My page is not private, so they can follow me on my page. Tierainie Johnson is nothing crazy. They follow me on my page, and everything that I do, whether it's like Manny said, my weight loss journey, my education journey, what I do for the community, it's all there. It's all there. So you can follow me. I email beautiesfromwithin@gmail.com, Instagram BFWINC, Facebook BFWINC, or they just call me. I have a business phone that I carry with me at all times, and I answer the phone. If I do not answer, leave me a message or text, and I will call you back.
Great. With the services that are offered through the nonprofit, are those services that are typically covered by insurance, or do they have a self-pay schedule? How does that process work from a paying for a service, or how does that all work?
It's free.
Okay.
I don't charge anyone for anything. If you call me and you tell me that you need help, we pay for services through donations. One of the reasons why I work the way that I do is because God gave me this vision. He didn't give it to everyone else. So I can't wait for everyone else to fund my vision. So my money goes into the community. If you call, like, I keep gift cards on hand. I keep a reserve in my account. If something comes up, and it's like maybe 2 weeks ago, a gentleman reached out to me because he knew about what I do in the community, and he had a young lady that was in between blessings, is what I like to call it. She had just started working, but she hadn't gotten her check, and she was short on paying for her hotel. She got approved for an apartment, all of that, but it was in between the time that she had to pay for the hotel plus pay her deposit. All she asked for was if I could pay for one night of hotel stay for her. One night. Not a problem. What hotel is it? I called the hotel. I gave them my credit card number, paid for a night, told her to sleep well. That's what I work for, to be able to help other people. It's not for me to travel and buy name brand bags and all that kind of stuff. It's bigger than just me. So I worry about sleeping when I get to it. As long as I can do what I need to do for everybody else, Tierainie is going to be okay.
Right.
That is remarkable. I salute you. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing to do. And that was part of my question, is how does the business stay afloat? But you just said that you work hard for it, and you also work off of any donations, etc. So that's good to know, because I'm sure people definitely want to know how they can donate to the cause. There is a website, right, that they can go to, or how does the donation process work?
Yes, ma'am. So we do have a website. It's www.beautiesfromwithin.org. And on the site, you can make donations. We do accept Zelle, Cash App, Apple Pay. Oh, we have an address. We just obtained our first, Beauties from Within just obtained their first physical location. So we have an actual office. So even if they wanted to, we're located off of San Jose. I have not done the grand opening yet. We're still getting it together, because that office is going to be used for community services. So part of Beauties from Within, that's my organization. But I'm also a substance abuse counselor. So I work with recovering addicts. I work with people in pain. One of the needs that I found is that it's Beauties from Within Inc. INC.org.
Oh, INC. Sorry, let me fix this here.
Drug abuse.
Okay, great.
I lost my father to a fentanyl overdose, and that prompted me to get into addiction. So what we offer is intensive outpatient therapy, and that's drug and alcohol treatment. So that office is going to be used to host IOP services to students that are troubled, we'll say that, they're facing challenges and are court ordered to attend drug or alcohol abuse classes. So yes.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm looking at the website now. It looks amazing. And what really caught my attention was the butterfly. So tell me more about the butterfly. on the
That
website. You know, you saw the backstory of that.
the butterfly, can't see it, but my tattoo is a butterfly. So my grandmother, she passed away October 16th, 2000. I'll never forget the day that she passed away. I got a phone call and they did not tell me that she had passed away. They just told me that I needed to get to the hospital. So I'm like, okay. I get to the hospital. I park my car and I am greeted with this beautiful yellow butterfly. The butterfly was so close to my face that I'm like ducking and dodging, like, what is that? Like, move.
Right.
That butterfly followed me all the way from my car to the entrance of the hospital. When the doors opened, the butterfly flew away. So it caught my attention and I just looked. And just a butterfly. Mm-hmm. So the backstory of the butterfly is every time I see a yellow butterfly, it reminds me of my grandmother. And I tell her, hey, grandma, and it prompts me to that. It's not just seeing the butterfly. The butterfly is seeing her. But every time something happens, I have butterflies everywhere. Like, butterflies are my thing because my grandmother was my best friend. Like, that lady was, and I know this may be sad to say, but like, maybe I'm a very transparent person. My grandmother, I used to pray that God took me before he took her because I didn't know how I would be able to function without her. So when she left me with the butterfly, that was what kept me going. So when I founded my organization, I had no choice. It was a no-brainer. Like, this is my grandma. So the butterfly goes with me.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And me, I love the whole spirituality thing. I believe in that. And I was just curious to see the butterfly symbolism upon death because you just shared your story. And according to Google says, and this is coming out of Our Lady of Peace mn.org, it says butterflies are viewed as a spiritual symbol of life after death because of their metamorphosis from a caterpillar to a colorful creation that flies through the air. Therefore, they bring comfort to people who are grieving the loss of a loved one. They also bring joy and love to impertinence and overall symbolic of change. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. In my office, I have a butterfly that's half black, like black and white, and half in color. And I chose that particular piece as a conversation starter for my clients. When you're dealing with individuals that have mental health issues, sometimes them opening up to you is a challenge because they don't trust very easily. So it's on my desk and I get a lot of questions like when I first get clients, and they'll say like, Miss TJ, why is the butterfly like half black and half white? And I say, because every day is not going to be a good day. Some days you're going to feel like you're in the dark. And then the next day you're going to feel like you're the happiest you've ever been in your life. But regardless of how you feel, once you are a butterfly, you're always a butterfly. So you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. You figure out which day you want to have. And if you choose, whichever one you choose, you make it work for you. Just know that it's not going to always be sunny and it's not going to always be cloudy. So the butterfly in two different colors is like, we're representative of my life. I have good days and I have bad days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Manny, I feel like I'm hogging up all the questions, so I'm going to give it to you.
All the right questions.
I have like a bunch of them coming in my brain. You know me, I'm like,
go for it. Go for it.
So with so much of happening in today's world, today's society, so many people have challenges, like you mentioned just a few moments ago, you know, with regards to life, just lives, you know, life is life, and good days, bad days. How do you determine, like, let's say, for example, if there's a bunch of people coming to you because they all have a need or a support need from you, how do you determine who's priority, or how does it all work for you? Because I'm sure you want to help everybody, but realistically, I mean, is that even possible?
You can't. And it's one of those things that I struggle with. because like you said, I want to help everyone.
Right.
I can't help everyone. So when I say I prioritize, it wouldn't be because you're all struggling. I just have to use discernment to see which direction do I go. And I may have to circle back around to certain individuals because depending upon what their need is, their need is going to be their need today, next week, or the following week. So if I don't get a chance to help you specifically with your need today, you haven't left my mind. I can still try. So I have to constantly try to, I don't want to say try to figure it out, but I have to ask for guidance. Where is your will need to be done? What needs to be done? And that's kind of the focus that I go in. Like one thing that used to be a challenge for me is when I would go out in the community to feed, and my motto was always keep it 100. Everything is on the up and up. So when I go feed, my goal was to always serve 100 people. I would get to the 100 and it's gone. And then somebody else would come up and be like, oh, do you have any more? Do you have this? And I would feel so guilty. Like when I'm downtown, I would run to McDonald's and let me get a Happy Meal. Let me go buy something. But I had to stop because I can't feed. I can't help everyone. So that's something that, like I said, I struggle with that, just learning how to say no at times.
All right. And speaking of, you have an event coming up Saturday, don't you?
I do. This Saturday, we're going to preparing a hot meal. We're serving dinner. Oftentimes in the community, they'll be served breakfast and lunch, but they don't get served dinner. So we're doing a pasta dinner with a vegetable. So some would be spaghetti, some would be fettuccine, raviolis, a vegetable, a roll, and water. And my goal is 100 people, but whatever I can do, if I can help one person, then I've done what I'm supposed to do. But that's my goal. So.
Yeah, and the homeless community, the homeless population, it's actually a community because it's so many people out here.
Yes.
Like when I first got here, I think I told you, it's just so many people. No, we were talking with the Villa Project because they do kind of sort of the same thing. Sometimes they'll go and do blankets, I believe he said. But it's just so many, and then they try to push them out of downtown because it's not aesthetically pleasing.
Correct.
But then where are they supposed to go? They don't have anywhere else to go. You don't have enough housing for them, and it's just sad. It's really sad.
One of my dreams is to open a one-stop shop, per se, meaning you come to our location and everything that you need is there. Fortunately, I've never had to utilize the services that I provide to the community. But from what I've been told by individuals that I've helped is that they get the runaround. Like, call these people for this, call these people for that, go here, go there. And just hearing it frustrates me. And I'm not even the one that's got to do it. So I would like to have a building where you come to us, you tell us your need, we fix it there. We don't send you anywhere. If there's anything that we can't do, we're the connection for you. We make it happen. We're your case manager. We're your liaison between us and them. I don't want to have to send people out to other entities. I know we can't do it all, but if we can do the legwork for you, I think that will help take some of the stress off of you.
All right. Yeah. That's a good idea because like you said, they get, the runaround, and after a while they just give up, and then they're either stealing or,
there's your drugs. There's where you relapse. You go back into the street. You're trying to get clean, and life happens. And when one of the things that I've learned with dealing with addiction, over the last 4 years, I've earned 3 degrees. And each degree fed off of the other. And when I say that, I initially went to school for what I thought was for me. I graduated high school, another little backstory. I graduated high school in 97. My mom's an educator. The only job she's ever had was being an elementary school teacher. So I just assumed that I would go to college to become an elementary school teacher because that's all I knew. I went to college to Florida State College at Jacksonville. At the time, it was FCCJ, which was a 2-year degree. I could not pass intermediate algebra. Math kicked my butt to the point where I just said, forget it, and I dropped out. I was out of college for 10 years. In January of 2019, I applied for a supervisor position at my job and was denied it because I didn't have a college degree.
Oh, wow.
Totally made me I was livid. I was so upset. But it fueled me to go back to school. I got a tutor. I took the classes. I had 3 classes to graduation, 2 math classes and 1 additional class that they put on me because I had been out of school for 10 years. I utilized my services. That was January of 19. Classes started in March of 19. I graduated in August. So it took me 22 years to get a 2-year degree. Once I realized that I had it in me to do that, I continued on. And in 2021, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in human services. That degree is what opened the doors for what I'm doing now. Because with a degree, so let me say this, and for those of you that are watching, a degree will open a door for you, but it's what's behind the door that will keep you there. I tell my clients all the time, don't let these degrees on the wall fool you. I didn't learn half of what I learned about addiction until I started working with addicts. My idea of what a drug addict was not what is half of my caseload. A lot of my clients, their first drug dealer was their doctor with pain pills.
Right.
So the addiction aspect of it helped me realize the addiction that I had. I've never been into drugs. I've never been into alcohol. I had a food addiction. When I was happy, I would eat. When I was mad, I would eat. When I was bored, I would eat. Those classes helped me realize what my problem was. What am I doing to become and stay addicted to food? How I related to them was, you have hypothetically, you have Cheetos, which are the crunchy ones, and you have cheese puffs, which are the soft ones. I didn't like Cheetos. I like cheese puffs. Don't bring me no Cheetos. That's not what I wanted. I want the soft ones that I can suck on and just swallow. It's just like people with addiction. When you have fentanyl, which is very powerful, and you have crack cocaine, they look alike, but they're 2 totally different things, and they can affect you in 2 totally different ways. That's how I started, how I was able to correlate really and see what true addiction was. Yeah.
Wow.
That's very interesting. That is definitely
That is interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't learn addiction from books. You know, you have to actually be out there with the people. You know, and that's how you learn. Because everybody's addiction is different. Even though they might be doing the same drugs, their addiction and the way that they handle their addiction is completely different.
Completely different.
could be a mom that's, you know, prostituting to support her habit and try to make enough money to feed her child, or a
All right.
guy that just, you know, wants to, you know, there's some functioning addicts out there. Like there's people, you know, in regular jobs, they'll,
Mhm.
you
That's
know, 9 to
an
5.
aspect that we're going into because, you know, I'm glad that you said that because one of the things that I learned when I got into that field was they look just like me and you. They
Yep.
look just like us and they're functioning.
Right.
Not all crackheads are toothless. Not all of them are dirty. Like it's you have
Yep.
functioning people. So you have to be careful and cognizant of how you treat people because you don't know what they got going on. You don't know what it took for them to at least just show up today
Right.
because they're everyone's fighting something.
Right. Yep. Especially those functioning ones because they feel like they have their addiction under control, or
Mhm.
they feel embarrassed and they don't want to, you know, be in a place like that because they don't want people to know what they have in their closet, you know,
Correct.
and they just know that they have to do something about it, or they're hurting somebody in their family, and it's either the addiction or their family. So, you know, they were either given an ultimatum, or they just feel like, you know, it's the end of the line for them and they need to change something in their lives.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I definitely give you credit and I salute you, TJ, because you were able to identify your food addiction, right? And you
Right.
came to terms with it. And a lot of people, that's a hard pill to swallow. A lot of people don't know how to come to terms with saying, okay, this is what I'm dealing with.
Mhm.
And so for you to identify that and do that self-reflection, that
Mhm.
takes a lot. And I really, my hats off to you. And with that in mind, like you said, people that are addicts of any sort or have some sort of something going on, they look like you and I and they're functioning.
Mhm.
And so if you can you share with the listeners and the audience what are some of the things that they can self-reflect on or should be asking themselves to determine, do I really have an addiction? What
Right.
are some of the questions or key points that somebody should be self-reflecting on to identify that so that way they can go and get help if they choose to?
The biggest question that you should ask yourself in any situation, and I want to preface this by saying, I am not a doctor.
Okay.
My
Yep.
feelings are not facts. However, they are very valid.
Right.
Um, you have to ask yourself, what is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why
Right.
do you feel the way you're feeling? What
Mhm.
happened to make you feel like what is it? Why did you once you can be truthful with yourself to the why or the what, then you can move forward because like you said, a lot of people it's a hard pill to swallow to realize that you are your problem. It's easy for
Mhm.
us to blame everybody else for everything that's going on in our lives, but what about you? You know, earlier we were you and Manny were talking about like relationships and being in a relationship with someone and them feeling like oh well, he always does this or she always does that. Okay, what did you do? Tell me
Right.
Exactly.
about what you did to contribute to him doing that or her doing this. Because when you have to look back at yourself and say, okay, um, and I started doing that because again, I'm older now, 45, 45, single, no children, never been married. I had to really take a look and see, okay, how did I contribute to my singleness? How did I contribute to the failed relationships that I've had? Once you identify your part, because look, I'm an awesome person at times, but at sometimes there was a point in my life where I wasn't so awesome and everything that I felt came up and it wasn't always nice. So I had to learn how to, everything that you feel does not need to be said. And if it is said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I can
Right.
say two totally different things and it there's a song. I love music. That side note. There's a song by India Arie, and she says, "Girl, do you know what he did?" Or "Girl, do you know what he did?" It's the same thing, but the way she said it gave two different meanings.
Right.
And I had to realize that it's not always what I did, but what I said, and it's wrong
Right.
sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of people don't self-reflect. They
Mhm.
are they they're too busy pointing a finger to see the other three fingers pointing right back at them.
Right.
To self-reflect and be like, well, why is he acting this way, or why is she acting this way? And that's another failure in the relationship,
Mhm.
to in the building process of the relationship. Um, the stubbornness that people have, well, it's not me, it's him, or it's not me, it's her. They're always blaming somebody else because they don't want to see what they're doing wrong, and they don't want to look within because either they have childhood trauma or they have past relationship traumas that they don't want to dig in too deep to themselves because they know that it'll uncover all of that stuff, and they'll just you know go through a lot of mental hardships, and they don't want to do that, so they rather blame somebody else than deal
It's easier
take
to blame somebody else than to blame yourself sometimes. And like you just said, ma'am, it's hard. Like being able to self-reflect is hard. It takes a really strong person, but I feel like if it's something that you want to fix, you're going to dig deep into yourself to figure out how to fix it. If you're not fixing it right now, you're not ready. And I'm okay with that.
right.
Because again, you can't do something for somebody else and expect it to always work. Sometimes it does, but oftentimes it doesn't last because you didn't do it for yourself and for your reasons.
Mhm.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a very good point. And so thank you for sharing that, because I just wanted those individuals listening and watching to get that food for thought. I mean, this may be you, this may be somebody that you know, and that way you can help them self-reflect, because many times self-reflection is not easy. No es fácil. And
Right.
so it takes a lot, but it's necessary. That's how we grow, that's how we evolve, right? That's how we become bigger and better individuals and humans than what we were yesterday. So um, but this has been amazing. So going
Very.
back to Beauties from Within, volunteer opportunities, I'm sure people are going to want to help and volunteer and contribute. And so looking at your page, it looks like all they have to do is there's a get in touch option, right? And they just fill in the information.
Yes, ma'am. They can fill out the information. They can email me. They can send a text message. We're out there. We're out there in the community. Like I said, they can come to my Facebook page, my Instagram, the business or the personal, send me a message. We welcome volunteers. We welcome people that have a heart to give back. We welcome people that have a heart to serve. If that's something that you really want to do, we welcome it. We deal with high school students that need volunteer hours. We welcome that. We welcome those that have to go and are forced to do community service. Sometimes you start off being forced to do something and you really find that you enjoy it. So now it's no longer a force. It's like, Miss TJ, when you doing such and such again? Like, hold on. Let me check my calendar. Let me see. I don't want to just throw a date out there and say, well, we're going to do something, because I do have to plan, because it's our organization. Even though we've been around since 2011, we're still considered a grassroots organization because we don't have corporate sponsors. We don't have thousands of dollars of funding coming in. It's based off of what I contribute and those that choose to volunteer. So I have to plan accordingly. But when I plan, I definitely put it out to the community, and we welcome all the help that we can get.
That's awesome. That is
Great.
definitely.
And
Thank
so
you.
events similar to the one that you have coming up, how do people follow or know what's coming up in case they want to spread the word to somebody in need?
So what I try to do again is it's hard being a one-person show at times.
Right.
And I'm not very tech savvy. So I try to get someone to create like a flyer so I can post it on social media, or a lot of times it's word of mouth, because I've been in the community and have a reputation of serving. Like a lot of times if I tell somebody, they tell a friend and they tell a friend, and then my phone is ringing. Like I got a text message today from a guy in high school saying, is the volunteer opportunity for this Saturday still open? Can you still take volunteers? And I'm like, yes, send me your information. Send me your information so that I can put you on my list of people to reach out to on Saturday to remind you, hey, we're going to meet up here to do X, Y, and Z. So.
Okay, great.
I'm going. I'm going to help Saturday. I'm going to
Take some footage, take some B-roll. I would love to see what's happening. Or actually, can you go live?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Go live, yeah.
I have a casting call for a movie and a rehearsal for the fashion show in November. But after that, I'm gonna definitely. I'll probably be in a suit, but I'll probably be the most well-dressed volunteer that you have.
Hey, I'm here for it. It's okay. I'm probably going to have to reach out to you. I'm in my first pageant in May next year.
Cool.
I've never done pageant work before, but I was, how do you say, voluntold.
Okay.
That it's a fabulous woman pageant.
Okay.
And I am a contestant in the 40 plus category.
Nice.
And this pageant is based on those that are 40 plus and still making an impact in the community. So
Gotcha.
I'm looking forward to that. I told him, like, I don't know what my talent gonna be, but we're gonna figure it out.
Hit me up. We'll brainstorm some stuff. I'll show you how to walk like a model. I got you.
Okay, because you know I'm real laid back, like I'm real casual. So
yeah. That's
I'm definitely come out. Let me know. I'm definitely gonna come out and support that. For real.
Okay, that's awesome. Good. Well, we are quickly approaching the end of the show. We had another amazing episode. Otro magnífico episodio de Hoy en Día TV. And so we are in our closing remarks. So, Manny, if you want, you can lead so that way she can get a feel for, what to say or what, different things to share. And that way TJ can go next and then I'll go last.
Okay.
Last minute word.
As I always say, never let the fear of failure overcome the righteousness of success. As you see with Mrs. Johnson, she didn't let any fear stop her. She got 3 degrees, opened a wonderful, amazing nonprofit organization, and she's helping people in the community no matter what. She doesn't have corporate sponsors, and she's doing it pretty much almost all on her own. So she didn't let any failures that she might have come in contact as she was going in the road stop her from making her dream come true. So, if she can do it, and I can do it, and Miss Yessie can do it, we all could do it. You just have to want it bad enough. You have to just keep on pushing, being persistent and consistent. Because if you don't, it's not going to happen. Because nobody's going to do it for you.
Correct.
Trust me, I've tried, and they don't want to do it.
Very good.
Find me on social media, Manny Morales. Author Manny Morales. .com on the website, Author Manny Morales on IG and Facebook. Manny Morales 1824 is my model page. Nothing but modeling. The book is on sale. I have the English and the Spanish version. I'm actually having, I believe it's in October. I can't remember the day in October, but they're having Frankie Negron here in October. And Yaya, the guest that we were supposed to have, she's so busy. She's the Hispanic organizer in the city council here in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And she has a production company, so she's doing she's the organizer for the event, and I'm going to be vending with my book. So if y'all are in Jacksonville, I'll drop the date. I can't remember the date at the moment. It's on my phone. next week I'll drop the date. I'll remember to get the date, so y'all could come out, enjoy some wonderful Spanish food, some wonderful Latin culture here in Jacksonville.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. TJ, you're up next. Last minute words, how they can follow you, etc.
Last minute words. I would definitely have to say, trust the process. Your journey, your way.
Right.
You can have someone else's guidance. You can follow their blueprint, but the ending result is not going to be the same.
Right.
Do it your way for your why. Remember your why. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show tonight. Please, by all means, if there's anything that I can do to help in your business and your communities, let me know. You can follow me at www.beautiesfromwithininc.org. On social media, it's Tierainie Johnson on Facebook, or Beauties from Within, BFWINC. On Instagram, it's Loving the New Me, which is LUVENTHNUMI. That's personal. I'm loving the me I'm growing into. So, but yeah, follow me on socials, and any way that I can help serve, I'm here for it.
Of course. That is awesome.
Wonderful.
I'm actually going to put you in contact with La Villa Project. The guy I know, Tony Red, he does stuff with the homeless. So I'm gonna kind of put y'all together and see if y'all can do something together.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
So on my end, just want to thank the audience, the listeners, everyone who's just participating, interacting, our special guest TJ, and Manny for being an awesome co-host as per usual. Because here at OMD TV, we aim to positively motivate, inspire, enlighten, educate, and entertain, of course, because I feel like we can entertain people, right? All the viewers with each episode. What'd you say, Manny?
I said, I'm a little funny, a little bit.
Yeah, you're funny. You're funny. Yes, and that is the goal, to positively motivate, enlighten, educate, inspire, and entertain you, the viewer, the listener, the audience, with each episode. Because the goal is for us to provide that beacon of light, that beacon of hope, especially when life gets challenging. Life no es fácil, it's not easy.
No,
and we want to be that vessel to remind you, like, hey, it's okay if it's not easy. Let's figure out a way to turn that negative into a positive. Let's shift the mindset, shift your thinking to look at it a different way, right? It's all about how you see things. And so with that in mind, definitely want to thank the sponsors. We have Collective Wear, the author Manny Morales, Divine Beauty and Accessories, Divine Eyes. The Divine Eyes Wicked Collection, which is part of Halloween, is on my website, yessierodriguez.com. So if you have cool costume and you want to, put some cool contacts on and go on the website, Wicked Collection is available for you, so you can be rocking and rolling on your Halloween costume. Yes.
Your website again?
So it's my name, yessierodriguez.com. More contact lenses are being uploaded. So if you don't see a certain look or color, more will be uploaded this weekend as well. But the Wicked Collection is available. Also, just wanted to give a shout out to the town of Garner. Last weekend, I had the opportunity to host Fiesta Latino 2024 for the town of Garner. And that was just a start of Hispanic Heritage Month, which is from September 15th through October 15th. And with that, National Hispanic Heritage Month is annually celebrated between September and October 15th, right, in the U.S. And that's to recognize the contributions and influences of Hispanic Americans. And that's including history, culture, achievements, etc. So shout out to all of those celebrating National, Hispanic Heritage Month. So, and overall, like I always say, the sky is never the limit, because the galaxies, they're endless. Thank you all for tuning into OMD TV. Until next time.
Adios.
Bye.